Hey guys, welcome to the Sim Racing Paddock. I'm William Marsh, and yes, it is midnight where I am, but yeah, I felt the urge to do some driving and got this Heusinkveld Engineering SimRig GT all built up, have all the monitors set up as you could see from that preview photo. So why not test a little bit? Why not have some fun doing a test drive and just sharing some very early thoughts on it. So for this, I'm going to fire up Assetto Corsa. I just want to make sure everything is set. I accidentally had it set to triple screen because that's why I was driving earlier. So let's get that fixed. Right now, what I am running on this is the Fanatic Club Sport Wheel version 2.5 and the Heusinkveld Engineering Sim Pedals Pro. That's currently all the hardware I'm running on the rig. I have sourced this seat from the Track Racer RS6. The only downside right now with that is the fact that the hand screws on it are a little too short for this seat. So I think tomorrow I'm going to go to a local hardware store and get that figured out. Hey, Lara Croft Leon, how are you today? And thanks for joining in on the stream. So, yeah, right now, seat's a little loose. That I'm looking to resolve tomorrow, and when I get that done, it should be an easy fix. So, let's just test drive. I want to test out the Ferrari F2004. And hey, Matt Hartley, thanks for joining in on the stream. So, let's do a test of this car, this cockpit with the Ferrari F2004. Should be a good test. It is very quick. Please verify video settings before playing. I thought I just did. 1920, 1080. Yes. Let's start. So, hopefully everyone had a good weekend. I know, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the 24-hour stream that I was planning, like for the 24-hour. Basically, I had an issue come up where after my stream last night, after the building stream, we discovered that I had like basically a water line burst and had to address that. Okay, come on. Oh, display capture off. There we go. So, first thoughts on this cockpit. Really good seating position. Like, you can't really see. I hang my arms. They are right over the steering wheel. Like, my wrists are right over. That's what some people call the ideal seating position. I might need to bring the pedals a little closer, but it's really good right now. One thing I've realized right now is my monitors, they are really close, so it's a very fitting change after using that GTR simulator cockpit where the screens were like a good almost 3 feet away. So this is a lot better. Hopefully you can hear me all right. It looks like you should be able to. But yeah, so this feels really good. Screens are very close. I've just realized that my center monitor is a hair off center. And by a hair, I mean about an inch off center. So I'll need to repair that off stream later on. But oh my gosh. So another like early thought. This is without a doubt the most sturdy cockpit I have ever driven. And yes, I have driven the CXC simulations rig. That was a motion one, so they did have some flex in that to sort of compensate for the motion, I think. But oh my god, this is sturdy as a rock. No flex there. And most notably, no flex whatsoever in these pedals. So I've tested this with the GTO Mega Pro Racing cockpit. I've tested the Track Racer RS6. This is insane for pedals. I can just put so much weight into that brake and I feel no flexing whatsoever, which is great. And whoops. Yeah, that wasn't good. Enzo Ferrari would be turning over in his grave. But yeah, so I believe one of my friends who also works for Heusinkveld, he said he wanted to watch in on this stream, Remco Hitman. And if you guys remember Remco Hitman from the old like ISR glory days, he was a big part of the forums. And he made a cockpit replica of the Tyrrell, I think it's the P34 F1 car, and that's the six-wheeler. So that's the six-wheel F1 car. And yeah, so he made that. He also does, I think it's called those Super Field of View videos. He also, I think, works for Heusinkveld, and yeah, great, friendly guy. Loved his videos on YouTube and stuff. So you might want to give him a watch. He has some great videos. But yeah, so he gave me some good advice on trying to line up my monitors. I still need a little bit of work to fine-tune them, but they're largely good. Hold on a second. I didn't say 2008. I said back in the day. So back in the day, the glory days of ISR, which I'd say were about 2011. So Super Field of View, it's kind of a buzzword, but I think the concept, the idea of his video was that he had this, it might have been a projector or something, so he had nailed the perfect field of view for the video, so it looked incredibly realistic. It's easier to just watch the video and get an idea, I think. But oh my gosh, this cockpit is, wow. This is my, I think the second time I've driven an 80-20 based cockpit. The first time I drove was actually Darren Ganji's old rig that I made up the name Frankenrig, which he used for a little while, where he just grabbed a variety of different parts from different rigs and he made it into his own. The downside with that was it was built for him. He's 6'5", and I'm about 5'6", 5'7". So I'm a good near foot shorter than him. So I had to really reach out for the pedals. I could barely reach the pedals, and because one of the blessings and the curses of 80-20 is you can create it to fine-tune for yourself, and on the flip side, you can make it extremely difficult for anyone else to drive your rig. So driving that rig was exceedingly difficult. This, I have pretty close to fine-tuned for my height, and wow, this feels great. Have I tried anything from R-Seat? I have tried a couple R-Seat rigs. Namely, they were at press events. They were at, like, for example, at Sonoma Raceway, I think it was the NASCAR race, and they had a Forza Motorsport 4 set up there, and they had an R-Seat with the Fanatic CSR wheel, and that shows how old this was the time I went there. But that R-Seat was pretty darn sturdy. I liked it. And not too much flex, but I'm imagining with this set, there might be some pedal flex, because I was testing with the CSRs, and I could feel the beginnings of some flex in the load cell. Actually, no, it was CSR Elite, because the Elite is the one that had the load cell. But yeah, so I also know that there's an enhanced setup. There's an advanced pedal option available, so that might be better for high-end options. That's what I'm talking about, man. Those Super Field of View videos are awesome. Rumco, he's like a genius when it comes to this stuff, and I think Heusinkveld, valuable addition by having him on the team. But yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about this cockpit now. So, this, I'm going to call it the rig without compromises for better and for worse. So, with that, we have that sort of specialization instead of being open-ended. So, this rig, it's designed for only like 3 or 4 wheels to be compatible. The Fanatec Club Sport wheel version 2.5, the Open Sim wheels, the Leo Bondar Sim steering, and the AccuForce. Those are the only wheels that are supported on this cockpit. That's it. No Thrustmaster, no Logitech. So that already is going to alienate a lot of people. On the pedal side, they only support natively Heusinkveld Engineering Sim Pedals Pro and Heusinkveld Engineering Sim Pedals Ultimate. They don't support any other pedals. So that is disappointing. For shifters, they only support the Heusinkveld Engineering shifter, and they only support the Heusinkveld Engineering handbrake. So this is an incredibly specialized rig. Sure, one of the beautiful things with 80/20 is the fact that you can add on virtually anything. I can make a new wheel deck and have it support Thrustmaster, Logitech, any wheel I want. I could create a new pedal deck and create compatibility for any pedal set that I want. And one thing I am going to do with this is I'm going to create an arm off the side that will make me able to support my Thrustmaster shifter, my Fanatec shifter, and Fanatec handbrake. That's something I'm planning on doing with this rig. So, this is an incredibly specialized rig, and from what I heard, they weren't planning on doing an open-ended rig. This was planned to be a specialized rig. This is supposed to be the kind of rig that companies are going to buy and ship them out to press events and conferences and events like that. This was not meant mainly for consumer use, but they do make it available for consumers. So that is one thing to consider. This was not meant to be a consumer grade consumer grade rig, but it is one that you're available to buy now. So that's what I sort of mean with no compromises, for better and worse, because they only intended this cockpit to be used under very specific circumstances, and that means it works great in those circumstances. So I like to call it the Apple effect. So Apple, it has these Apple's very, very closed ecosystem, very specialized. If you really wanted to dig deep and put a lot of investment in, you can change things around on Apple computers, or jailbreak an iPhone or Apple TV, things like that. But it is largely very closed down. So that allows them to focus on the things they do have control over. And that, for Apple computers, creates a superb user interface experience. It also allows for programs to run really well. So with Heusinkveld being able to limit down what they're compatible with, they are able to maximize the compatibility with other products. So one cool touch on this rig is, instead of having this seat on rails like most conventional seats on cars, it has a slide 80/20 T-slot system built into the side of the rig. And that allows you to sort of not relatively quickly, but kind of quickly move the seat back and forth by just turning 4 knobs. But also have this rock solid. For the pedals, they are the most solid pedal deck I have ever used. But unscrew 4 bolts on it that are thumb screws, and boom, you can move the seat forward or backward. That is a nice touch. It works very well. So, yeah, they are able to specialize on that, and sure, we could see this stuff on other stuff, but this is meant to be the ultimate Heusinkveld hardware rig, and it just so happens to be compatible with a Fanatic wheel and OpenSim wheel, but yeah. So, in most situations, I wouldn't really recommend this rig. Get one from JCL Sim Racing, get one from SimLab, and you should be able to do just fine for about half the price. But this, I mean, it is a blast to drive with, and it is so flippin' sturdy. It is a very nice rig. So, yeah, my early impressions on this cockpit are very nice, and I'm enjoying it a whole lot. I will definitely say that. This, I have no flex in the wheel deck. I have no flex in the pedals, and that's one of the nice things, because even, I will compare this to the CXC Simulations Motion Pro 2 cockpit I've tested on a couple occasions. That is a $60,000 rig. Or actually, it starts at 50 grand. This is sturdier than that. Sure, this doesn't have the motion, but this has a better framework, I think. Lara Croft Leon, let me get to the straight before I read that. New pedals to upgrade my CSP V3. Should I get the Heusinkveld Pro or Ultimate? So, I think in most situations, the pros work just fine. In most situations. I'd say it depends on the rig as well. So, what rig are you using? But I'll just talk a little more about that. I love these pros though. The Ultimates, they do have more customization, and they do support a much stronger brake, because, let me see if I can max out the brake right here. Yeah, that's max out the brake. That's about, I want to say 120 pounds of pressure. 55 kilogram load cell. I think rough approximation is about 120. So that's like bench pressing 120 with 1 foot, to an extent. So really, really strong pressure. And I think the Ultimate, that can handle up to 300. So that's some major forces. And you need a rig that can handle that, I think, or you can just customize. But if you want more than 120 pounds of brake pressure, go Ultimate, and you can always scale down. But the Ultimates, I gotta admit, look beautiful. Those things are incredible looking. And I think they have better dampening options for the gas and brake. Do I think the Quaife shifter would work on this rig? You'd have to create a custom, you need to buy some 80/20 profiling and attach it to the side of this, but I don't see why not. I think it could work within reason. You would need to just make something to build off the side, and then you could hook up the shifter. So you have the Obado Revolution cockpit. Oh, I've never tested that one myself, unfortunately, so I can't really speak for it, but I've heard decent things about it. I've heard that it could handle higher end pedals, but I think, if I remember correctly, the pedal plate on that might be fixed. So you would need to buy the base plate as well, which can help you compensate for the angle of the cockpit. So for cockpits that have an upright rake like that you can't adjust, Heusinkveld, they sell this base plate that I want to say is $100 extra, but it can counteract the rake on a cockpit. And it uses Logitech G25 mounting holes, so it's pretty universal. But yeah, that's one of the only downsides I can think. because these pedals are upright. They are meant to be installed upright. They are tall. So the pedals, you need to keep that in mind. So interesting driving this car because when I hit the wall in the beginning, that damaged the front wing. So I'm missing downforce in that corner and stuff. But yeah, these pedals are amazing. I will say that. Let's do a race. I mean, sure, this is all good and running laps. But yeah, right now, one of the downsides is I don't have it figured out how to install a shifter yet. That is one of the only annoying things at the moment. That is something I need to figure out. I'm talking with one of my friends who is an engineer, and he might help me figure out a design for mounting the handbrake and shifter. But also I need to figure out how to fix my shifter. I am currently talking with Fanatic Tech Support. They said it might be something I'm able to fix myself. Hopefully it is. Or dang it, I don't have the other RSS cars installed. I should do those later. But let's try something interesting. Let's go with a slower open wheel car. Let's go with the Formula Bath. And let's find a good track. Let's do the short Nürburgring. So Nürburgring Sprint. That should be an interesting race. So weather looks pretty good. What is the problem with the shifter? So I developed an issue where when I was shifting to the lower gears, it was only detecting it as second gear. So when I tried shifting to second, fourth, sixth, it was only showing as reverse. So I think it's something wonky with a Hall effect sensor, because the way the shifter works, it's a magnetic sensor that detects the gears. So maybe it's something like dirt got in it or something. So I don't think it's a big issue, just might be a minor thing to fix. So let's see, modify the field. Let's do a 20 car field. That should be pretty good. Summary. How do I set the laps here? 7 laps, that should be okay. Actually, let's go to 8 laps. Jumpstart penalty. Drive through, sure. Do I feel any little clunkiness? Or do you mean the shifter? Not that I really feel. That's the thing. It feels still good. I think it's something weird with the sensor. Yes, there is a Rainbow Road mod that I downloaded. It's buggy as heck. It's so freaking weird. But I did have fun in it. I did a live stream showcasing that a little earlier. So let's turn off display capture. There we go. So I just realized I might have set AI a little too high, but let's just see. Let's see if this cockpit might instill a little more confidence for me. We're starting from the front? Uh-oh. You had on mine a little screw get loose at the bottom. Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks, Silent. Little lockup in the first corner. Ran wide. And I'm gonna get past. So my goal is I don't want to finish last, but oh man, I'm feeling a little chunkiness in the tires from that lockup. Not used to a car this low downforce. Oh, we're getting a run on second. I don't know if we can get a run on the outside. No, I'm giving up way too much ground. I ran too wide, a little off track, and I sacrificed third gear. Let's get a run off. Little wide, but we got a decent run. Hey, Ken Bid, how's it going? So we're down to fourth, but I think we can... 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's just be smooth. Pick up some spots. We don't have any damage, so that's a positive sign. I'm going to move this map up to top right. Let's move to the left. Trying to make sure we use the whole track going into this first corner. On the throttle. There we go. Whoa. This is not the RSS Formula 4 mod. This is just the Formula Aboth. Missed that second apex. It's a miracle I haven't lost fourth. But yeah, this cockpit feels great. Because right now, I am feeling the flat spots on the tires. And... I'm... Whoa! A little too... Oh, fudge. Oh! Sugar honey iced tea. I'm going to turn down the AI a little bit. So, I'm going to go Gran Turismo style. But yeah, so... I'm not worrying about this wheel deck shaking. It's not going to shake. This thing is sturdy as a rock. And yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Gran Turismo style. So I'm going to set the AI lower. So let's go to 88%. 3% variation. Hey, Brian, I'm having a lot of fun right now. Thank you. And let's start last. Give us a challenge. Try to pass some cars. I call this the Jimmy Broadbent challenge because he likes to start in the back, fight his way up. So Ron Smith lost all but first gear in the H shifter. Went to paddle shift. They worked, ended up having to splice the internal wiring. Got it working all 6 gears in reverse. Okay. So, as mentioned, you're going to see this chair rock back and forth a bit. I just need to get longer bolts for this. So, we're starting in last place, guys. Wish me luck. AI are always so slow on first lap. Yeah. I totally forgot that this car's turbocharged. So, let's avoid the first corneritis. Oh! Dang it. Let's try again. I accidentally read the chat at the wrong time. Scrub696. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Because these are low as heck downforce. But starting in that turn, it's like, whoa. So I'm just going to let them build a bit of a gap right here. Because we want to be careful into the first corner. Cold brakes, cold tires. 3 wide into the first corner. Whoa! Holy traffic jam. No, I blamed it on myself for reading the chat. I didn't blame it on you. So, looks like we're about... Yep, we gained 1 spot, but we might lose it here. Nope. Slipstream. Inside line, or no, outside line. I'm just used to the GP circuit. Let's get a run. Thank you, Tyler, for subscribing. Thank you very much. But yeah, I am loving this cockpit right now. This bracket feels incredible. Like, just no play whatsoever. Okay. We made one spot up. Here we go. 3 wide. I lifted. I didn't think I was going to make it. And we made it to second pass. Okay. And we're in the slipstream. Let's see if we can make a run. Dive bomb! And we made it stick. Okay. I would not do that in an online event. But I knew the AI, they break a little early for turn 1. So I was like, okay, I'll take advantage of that. Saw a little bit of smoke. So remember, go on the right side. Ron, unfortunately, no. I had a minor emergency. It was a water line burst. And had to shut off water and get that sorted with in the morning. So no, unfortunately, I was not able to make that race. In the future, though, I am looking to maybe field some teams in future endurance events. So I'm thinking that. Ken Bid, any good leagues on Assetto Corsa? I sort of have a league going on. That is I'm partnered with Sim Racing System. Currently running GT3. But honestly, I haven't even run any of those races. So I'm not even taking part in my own league. But Sim Racing System, they have some great kind of pickup leagues put together that you can check out. Sean Cole, he's running the McLaren F1 GTR in his Simpit series. Oh wait, is it McLaren F1 GTR? I think so still. And then I ran a Porsche GT3 Cup Championship, I think, last season. That was a lot of fun. Some good racing. This is some good racing, too, with the AI. I'm trying to get a run. I'm beating up these tires, though. We're up to 14th now, I think. Oh. There we go. We're going to gain a run here. Maybe some side draft. Maybe not. Come on. He had the preferred line through there. But I'm going to get a run here. There we go. Might have forced him a little wide, but boom. Well, we're making good progress, guys. We're almost halfway through this race. Just got some dirt on my tires. Need to scrub that off. Whoa, he checked up big time there. Let's try to draft watching Sean and me right now. Multitasking for the win. Let's see if I can make pass on the outside. On throttle, yes, we made the pass. That should put us up to 10th, I think. He might have run. No, he's not. He's going to fall back in line. We might have just broken top 10, guys. Had a good run there. Lowering difficulty on AI makes you look like a better driver than you might actually be. And oh my gosh, we are 3 wide. 2 by 3. Oh wait, no, we're not 2 by 3. That's 3 wide. Okay, guy on the outside backed off. Oh, that guy got close. But oh my gosh, what a pass. Yeah, Sean in the car right now. Hopefully he's doing well. I know Jimmy Broadbent wrecked out, or his teammate wrecked out. Forcing the issue, made the pass. This car is so much fun, guys. This is one of the underrated gems of Assetto Corsa. This car has been around since the beginning. I know a lot of people don't give it its dues. Woohoo. So, brake. I have to give him the ground. CSL Elite kit is a great kit, especially to get started in the Fanatec ecosystem. Because you can get the Fanatec CSL Elite PS4 with the 2 pedal set for $4.99. And then you can get the third pedal for $129. There we go. We just took the lead, guys. With about 3 laps to go. But, I mean, that was some crazy driving on my part in that last lap and a half. I had to get used to this seat. It's a nice seat, but it's totally different seating position than I've used in my other cockpits. There we go. Well, yeah, this is some good racing, guys. And then after this, I'm going to try this with the GT rim. I haven't done much testing with that. Whoa! Wheel spin. Dangerous part, this car, I don't think has any traction control. So Brian, question: where do you live? What country? Because shipping can play a huge factor. Because in Europe there are some lower cost cockpits, but shipping to the US is just a nightmare. Look at that train behind me. Yep. Oregon, oh gosh. Because if you were in Europe, I would recommend the SimRacing K2. That's a decent budget rig. But on the flip side, shipping costs almost more than the cockpit. Yeah, it almost doubles the cost in some areas to ship to West US. Which is just downright frustrating. Because I talked with SimRacing, and they said, because you have over 10,000 subscribers, we could give you a 50% discount off the price of the rig. Note that it does not cover the cost of shipping. And essentially, that would have allowed me to get the cockpit for about $200, I think like $200. But essentially, I couldn't justify spending like $300 in shipping for something I was paying $200 on. Oh, wait, I'm in 4th. I did not realize that. Okay. So, yeah, I guess there's the rabbit group. Yeah, there's the rabbit group, I call it. I'm not going to close in on those guys. Those are just the exceedingly fast guys, I guess. That's what happens when you turn variation to 3%, I guess. But man, my tires, yeah, they're pretty shot. We worked hard to get to this top 5. I'll state that. Granted, my driving's a little sloppy right now because we have a healthy gap. But yeah, I am enjoying this cockpit so much, guys. So much fun. So how much is the Semitic K2? It's like 250 euro, or I think it's like 300 euros or something like that. So yeah, 300 euros. And then factor in like almost 200 euro for shipping the cockpit. Yeah, that gets pretty darn pricey. Because I was looking at getting the cockpit, the triple monitor mount, the butt kicker mount, shifter mount, etc. And basically everything except the seat. And it was, they were quoting me about like $400 in shipping. Which is just insane. I would love to see them get a distribution center in United States. So that's one thing I would like to see Semitic do. Because they're missing out on a lot of US sim racers due to exorbitantly high. Have I done a 2018 buyer's guide video yet? I'm planning on doing that next week. So next week is when I'm planning on filming and hopefully getting that review, or not review, but buyer's guide out. Because I'm actually surprised at how much happened in 2017. So that knocked so much of my guide out of date. And actually, I'm kind of shocked at how popular that got. Because looking on my channel, I think it's at 65,000 views. So making a 2018 guide, adding all the new Thrustmaster stuff, the new Fanatec CSL Elite PS4, the Fanatec Club Sport Wheelbase V2.5, the AccuForce V2, different open sim wheels. So yeah, a lot of stuff happened. Okay, here's a challenge. Let's do a GT3 race. Where? I know I was getting some stuttering at Laguna before. Let's go Donington, because I like Donington Park. So by tag, let's go GT3. Remove the Formula Bath. Whoops. I just want to add the GT3 cars, though. Like the modern ones. Yeah, that should be a good grid. We'll do 16 car field. Summary. Back. 88 strength, yes. Let's start 12th. Hey, Jamal, good to see you in here. And yeah, early thoughts is this is incredible. This is a great setup. Ron, what do you mean, what part? Oh, you're asking the guy from Oregon. My bad. Miscommunication. Yeah, so I've driven the G29 and I think the G920 in two different circumstances, and they are okay. For the price, though, I would have liked to see better, and I would have loved to see Logitech do something more out of their setup. So now I'm driving the GT car. Might have just wanted to stick with the Formula rim, but this is okay. I still think that Logitech's pedals are the best non-load cell ones, though. 3 wide in the first corner. Some contact from behind. We're okay, though. Oh, another bump. These guys are a little more aggressive, I think. Oh, man. He might have just not seen me. But Rubbin's racing, boys. Rubbin is racing. Hey, Holistic. I'm doing pretty well right now. Doctor Who clips. It is currently 12:46 a.m. I know it's late, but I just got a second wind. Wanted to do a test drive and share it with you guys live. So now our car's a little beat up. Oh, wow. Oh, whoa. But yeah, this cockpit, I'm not feeling any flex, which I know this will sound weird, but I had to get used to there being no flex. Because, wow, I just got sideswiped. So, Twiggy, one of the reasons I say that the Logitech pedals are better, in my opinion, are that you can actually mod them. You can add a load cell easily. You can stiffen the gas, stiffen the clutch. Those are things you cannot do in a T3 PA. You can remove them from the casing. So yeah, those are some reasons I think the G27s are better. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so this cockpit, I almost have to get used to there having no flex, because driving the GT Omega, driving the Track Racer, driving the GTR Simulator, those are cockpits you sort of get used to, compensate for the flex in those cockpits. For this, there's no flex, so it feels almost unusual after years of driving cockpits with flex. Woo! But I mean, once you get used to this, this feels pretty darn awesome. Little hold up here. I might be able to make a move. 3 wide. Whoa! The car just did not brake like I was hoping it did. Any good cheap sim racing seats? The GT Omega Art is a great one. From what I've heard, I am going to be getting that to review next month. That is a slightly more budget-friendly seat. Semitic K2, for people not in the US, is a good one. I'm not sure which other ones off the top of my head. How manageable was the screen mounts? Any flex at the screen's levels? Not under normal driving. If you hit the screens, there's going to be a little flex. But, I mean, yeah, there isn't really anything worth mentioning. It's pretty darn solid. Which is kind of remarkable because the monitor mounts are mounted on the uprights to the sides. So, literally, if this was out of a weaker material, these cockpits would be flexing. They're not. Yeah, Simon, I've been hearing great things. Gamer Muscle, he, I think, swears by his K2. Hey, Jack, how's it going? Oh, someone retired. Not sure why. Okay, Brian, I'll try to get it done quickly. And I might try to do a cockpit buyer's guide too this year. So, like wheel, pedals, shifters, and to see how that goes. Yeah, Simon. One of my friends, he was like, you should move to Australia. And it's like, I don't want to spend like 50% more on products. But yeah, Simon, oh yeah, Twiggy, that's a great option. Because my first cockpit was made out of wood. I spent about $150. Granted, it wasn't that well designed and wasn't very sturdy. But I bet if you put some effort into the design, you can make it pretty darn sturdy and good. Just don't take building advice from me. So I'm thinking about trying to set up a pedal cam for this, for my streams. So I might try to ask some advice from Jimmy or Jimmy Broadbent, because he uses a, what was it? He uses a, this same cockpit, and he has the pedal cam. So I might talk to him. This is currently set to a single monitor because it's easier for streaming. So I'm just using a single monitor. I do have 3 monitors set up though. What difficulty is this set to? I have it set to 88% difficulty because I wanted it to be like fighting through the field. But I guess since this is a third-party track, I don't really have to worry too much about like them being too difficult. I guess that's kind of one of the downsides. Except I'm just wholly locking up the tires. I've seen a video recently, don't know by who, but it's to build a cheap rig, and one was made out of wood. Well, inside Sim Racing, they have their they called it the Deathmobile, and that's a great starter cockpit. It's an old video, but it still holds to today. So let's get back to business. Let's smoothen out our driving a bit. But yeah, I am loving the feel of this cockpit. As mentioned earlier, this is a very, very specialized rig. So you are not really going to be... Most people aren't going to buy this rig. So I'm trying to speak from the standpoint more of just 80-20 rigs. And that's the aluminum extrusion, and this is just insanely sturdy. But the added parts by Heusinkveld, the wheel bracket, the pedal plate, those add to the experience. But essentially, unless you have the hardware compatible with this cockpit and are wanting to spend that much for driving a Heusinkveld experience, then I'd say go with Simetic or not Simetic, go with SimLab or go with JCL Sim Racing, one of the lower budget rigs, or build your own 80-20 rig if you're proficient with designing things. OpenSimRacing.com, that's another good one. I've been talking with them a bit. They don't really have anything rig-wise to send me because they mainly sell plans, but I might work with them in the near future once I get an open sim wheel and try out maybe some of their wheel rims that they make. So the Heusinkveld GT retail price for this cockpit, it's about like 1,150 euros, which is like $1,300, I think. 4Play Racing, yes, that is an option. Note that I have talked to them a couple times, and they said like 6 months ago they were planning on revamping their website. They still haven't, so yeah, that I've heard decent things about them. Whoa, lock up. Traction control kicked in, yo! Well, it looks like it's another Corvette battling me. Especially if I just keep locking up these brakes. But yeah, I'd love to get my hands on the like sequential shifter, the handbrake from Heusinkveld, and even the H shifter they're working on. Because one of my friends, he got to drive the H shifter, and he said he loved it. And he said it worked really well. So hopefully, as the time comes, maybe I can try doing a review of that for you guys, because that's a very small shifter, and I think would be easily able to mount on setups. Whoop! Little slideways. Well, yeah, I am loving the pedals because, as mentioned in my GT Omega review, those, or the Heusinkveld pedals weren't made for that, and they barely fit. This is how these pedals are meant to be used. And yeah, you can feel the difference. No flex in the pedals. That is one of the biggest takeaways from this. That is one of the things I'm enjoying the most about this. So yeah, even though for most sim racers I wouldn't recommend this, I am loving this rig. I'll just put it that way. And yeah, I think that's part of the thing. Heusinkveld, they aren't meaning to sell this to most people. I don't think that's the case. They are like basically for the people who are Heusinkveld engineering diehards that have the pedals, that have the direct drive wheel, that have the Heusinkveld shifter, Heusinkveld handbrake. That's who these are being designed for. But 80/20 is really good. I'm not hearing any creaking from the rig. No creaking from the rig. It was funny though, because at first when I was driving, I thought I did. I turn around, it's my punching bag that's swinging a bit. So it's just swinging. It's off frame. But yeah. Brian, yes, Fnatic is making their direct drive. It's just no info to report at the moment, unfortunately. And I know someone in the chat is likely going to ask me, what about that $300 direct drive, the Feel VR? Well, I am talking with the guys. They are still wanting me to be one of the first people to test drive the rig. So keep that in mind, that I will likely be one of the first people to test out that Feel VR direct drive wheel, and I'm excited for it. And we are going to take the win by about 4 seconds. But man, I am loving using the pedals like this. It feels so good. I'm so used to this. But yeah. No creaking. I think I need to adjust the legs a little bit on this cockpit. But also, once I tighten the seat down, it's going to feel so good. But yeah, guys, early thoughts on this Heusinkveld Engineering SimRig GT. Sturdy. Sturdy as a flipping rock. And that is really good. And so much fun to drive with this. It's entirely different form of driving than I'm used to, because for these other cockpits, I have to compensate for the flexing in the pedal plate. But for this, it's like rock sturdy, and it almost feels foreign to me. And foreign in a good way, I'll put it at that. And it's something that I'm looking forward to getting used to. Earlier on, I also tested this in VR, and it feels amazing. Because this is like the just right seating position. I have the wheel just at the right position, pedals just at the right position. So when I put that headset on, it feels spot on. It feels really good. So yeah, I mean, I might adjust this a little more to fine tweak to get more to my liking a tiny bit. I might bring in the pedals like a millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters, because that is a possibility. But oh man, this feels freaking great, and I'm looking forward to doing more driving with this. However, it is 1 a.m. right now, so it is very late, and I should get some sleep. I might watch a little more stream, like Sean's driving or eating chocolate and peanut butter ice cream. But Holistic 79, driving position out of 10. I'm going to give this a solid 9. Right now. I mean, I haven't fine tweaked it yet, but yeah, this feels great. Great feeling for the pedals. And also, it's just, I need to unlearn some old habits. So, yeah, I'd say 9.5 for driving position. Because it's just right. I'm hanging my wrists right over the rim, which is the ideal position for ergonomics. Once I get this chair better secured, I think it's going to be a 10. Have I ever used manufactory pedals? No, I have not, unfortunately. I've been hearing great things about those, but I have not tested them myself, unfortunately. But yeah, so guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to call it a night. But thanks for watching this early first thoughts. I will try to get more time in, do some reviews. I need to also review the Cronus Max Drive Hub. I need to do that and figure that out. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'm going to try to also get my Sim Racing Buyer's Guide out next week. So stay tuned for that. But guys, thanks. So for Sim Racing Paddock, I'm William Marsh, and you have a great night.